WDWL TV Multiplex, live from Studio G. We proudly present the pride of the station, the Two Grumpies, starring the grumpy old man. Oh, that would be me. And, the grumpy vulture. Step up here and take your bow. Oh, very nice, very nice. Old Spice again? Oh, gee. You're a bird. You don't wear men's cologne, you asshole. Oh, get back in your corner. Oh, Jesus. There, look at the camera. Well, here we are, back in Studio G again. I told the CEO I really like this little compact, tiny studio. He said, don't get to like it too much. I was like, oh, I don't want to piss him off. I'll end up back downstairs in the sub-basement in the storeroom again. I got a nice gift today, and it brought back memories. Not so good memories. A friend of mine sent me this very nice fountain pen. When is the last time you used a fountain pen? And this one is really nice, really nice. Look at the gold inlay, rosewood. Yes, very, very nice. Look at that, gold tip. I remember when we were in grade school and we had to learn how to write with a fountain pen. Now, this is the new style. Watch me screw it up. Here we go. These have refill cartridges. Not like back in the day when we had them crappy, it had a fill lever on it. And basically there was a little like balloon inside. It would compress the balloon and you would let the lever go, and you had to have the tip of it into a bottle of ink, and it never failed. You'd no sooner fill it, and there would be, ink everywhere. You'd have ink on your hands, ink on your desk. They were very notorious for leaking. You'd have one in your pocket, and the next thing you know, you'd have this big ink stain on your shirt. The interesting thing about these with the refill, you drop in the refill, you screw the top down, and you're done. And these are leak proof. Believe me, I shook the shit out of this thing today. I was like, well, let me see. I don't know if I'm going to trust it. The amazing thing is how nice it makes even shitty handwriting look like Grumpy has. Matter of fact, I write worse than a doctor. It really, it brought back a lot of memories. I'll never forget. I was down to my last sheet of notebook paper. I was writing a report, and halfway through the report, I ran out of ink. what do? You refill it. So I refilled it, and as I'm capping the bottle of ink, it slips out of my hands, and the ink goes all over my report. Oh my God, I was in a panic because the report was due the next day, and it had to be on notebook paper. The only paper I had was a legal pad. I'm like, oh God, what am I going to do? I scrounged everywhere. Finally, I find this sheet of notebook paper. I get down to the last line of the report, and the pen decides to leak a big glob at the bottom. Oh my God, I hated these things. I despise these. And it was interesting because the friend that sent me, he has written with a fountain pen all his life. He loves them. And I don't know what made him send me a fountain pen. I think he was sitting writing something and he went, oh my God, I remember how Grumpy hated fountain pens. I think I'll send him one. And this is not a cheap fountain pen. Typical gift giver, he left the price in. So I'm very appreciative of this very expensive fountain pen. And he sent me a box of refills. But it brought back horrendous memories of these goddamn things in grade school. I don't know. I still don't know what the idea was behind us learning how to write with a fountain pen. We had ink pens, regular ink pens, but oh no, in school they had to teach you how to write with a fountain pen. It brought back memories, all right. Memories of how much I hated these goddamn things. But I'll tell you, I did a lot of practice writing with it today. And it is amazing how they have improved these over the years. This writes like a gel pen. It really does. And like I say, I shook the piss out of it. I was going to say, if you're going to leak, very easy to refill. I really appreciate him sending me this. Even if it did bring back horrendous memories of the days of grade school and fountain pens. I sent him a very thankful email, mainly to let him know I received it, and second of all, how it reminded me of how much. I'm not the only one. I'm sure every kid in grade school hated these goddamn things because they were cumbersome to refill. They leaked at the worst possible time. As a matter of fact, I remember I had to wear a white shirt and tie at school for some unknown reason. I racked my brain today trying to think of why. And I remember sticking this pen, not this pen, my fountain pen, in my pocket and not realizing it was leaking. And wherever I had to be with this, it was for some sort of pictures. Yeah, we had to wear all the certain group of us had to wear a white shirt and tie for some school picture of some sort. I don't know, some club or that. Well, I go in to get my picture taken. The photographer says, "Do you know your pen is leaking?" And I looked down. I was like, "Oh no!" So I am the only person in the group. First of all, he put me behind everybody that was getting their picture taken. And then I have a white sheet that they wrapped around me. So you can barely see. And then they tried to get everybody close together to hide it. But you see buttons, and then all of a sudden, no buttons. And it's obvious I've got something across my chest. How embarrassing. And then this was like first thing in the morning, so my mother had to bring me a goddamn change of clothes because the fucking fountain pen leaked all over. Oh, back in the day, these were the worst things on earth. But it brought back a lot of memories, all right. I told him, I said, "You bastard," I said, "if this thing leaks and ruins one of my shirts, I'm going to send the pen back along with the shirt that it ruined." But it's very, very, I can't believe what he paid for this thing. So I would almost guarantee it's not going to leak. But it definitely brought back a lot of childhood memories of one of the worst inventions on earth, a fountain pen. And then you could only have blue or black ink. And it never failed. I would be out of fountain pen ink. Could you find blue or black in any store? Oh no, they had a shitload of red, a shitload of green, shitload of purple. No blue or black because every kid in grade school needed blue or black ink. I hated these things. But I'm very impressed with, of course, like you say, we're looking back in the 50s. So they've had a lot of time to improve these things. But it was a nice surprise. It really was. And I will have no fear keeping it in my pocket until it leaks. Although I've noticed, looking at the refills, the ink is a lot thicker too. Oh, that shit was like water back in the day. But yeah, I opened the box and I was like, "Oh, isn't this a nice gift?" And then I uncapped it and I was like, "Ah, fountain pen! Oh, Jesus!" But like I say, I've been doodling with it all day, and it writes like a gel pen. So if you're watching, thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. It will get used a lot until it leaks, and then it's coming back to you. It was quite a surprise. Speaking of surprise, yesterday I told you when I ran up to Mark's they were doing inventory. And needless to say, there was, well, I need cat litter. The kind that I use, the cheap shit, they didn't have any. You know, they got these $20 boxes of the most expensive cat litter on earth, which my cat won't use. So I went back today. I go back to the pet aisle, and they still did not have any bags of the litter that I purchase, or the litter that my picky ass cat will actually use. So one of the employees was walking by, and I said, "Hey, don't you have the non-clumping clay litter?" She says, "I don't think we have any. I don't think the order came in yet, because they put a hold on a lot of the orders for inventory." I said, "Well, I was in here yesterday. There wasn't any." And I says, "My cat won't use this expensive shit." And she goes, "Neither will mine." I said, "Oh, we must have cats from the same litter." So she says, "Would you like to see a picture of him?" I was like, "Oh, yeah." I could not believe the cat that she has could be the identical twin to Boots, my big fat ass 22-pounder. And he's big. She said, well, the last time we took him to the vet, he was 16 pounds. I said, well, mine is 22. I don't know what the rest of him looked like. She just had, he was standing looking like a cute kitty. His face and his markings were identical. I pulled my cell phone out. I says, "Look, here's his brother." It was amazing. Now, I know a lot of tuxedo cats have very similar markings. His face was identical to my cat's. It was unbelievable. She says, "You know what? Since we have twins, I'm going to go back in the warehouse and see if we have your litter back there." I said, "Well, I'd appreciate it." About 5 minutes later, she comes back and she goes, "Can you come over to the warehouse door?" I said, She goes, "Believe it or not, this is the only bag in the warehouse." I was like, "I'll take it." I was like, "Jeez." So I says to her, I says, what's, you're not ordering stock?" She says, "During inventory, they basically try to almost like empty the store. And it's amazing. You walk through that store, how many empty spots there are." I says, "Boy, when is inventory over?" She says, "Well, tonight is it. After we close tonight, we wrap up inventory." I says, "I feel sorry for you employees next week when the stock comes rolling in." She goes, "Oh yeah, we've already been told We will all be stocking next week. I don't understand this, how a store runs their inventory. It's the strangest thing. How can you empty a store and count like 0000 for inventory? Doesn't that seem a little strange that you have no inventory in the store? Any aisle I walked up and down, certain products were just totally empty. And I told her, I said, you're really pissing off customers. Because, like, if I wouldn't have got this bag of litter, this would have been my second day here. People aren't going to keep coming back and coming back and coming back, hoping that there's finally stock in the store. I just do not understand how store inventory systems work. And wouldn't you take inventory like basically December 31st? You're starting a new calendar year with no stock? I don't know. I've never owned a store, so I don't understand how they run an inventory system. All I know is, thank God I didn't have to make another trip. Now, I could have gone to another store, like Aldi's or Gigantic Eaglet. First of all, Aldi's don't carry the litter that he'll put his dainty little feet in. They've gone to this clumping litter, which in a way is a good idea because there's less waste. My picky ass won't put his dainty feet in clumping litter. I'll never forget the first time I tried it. He gets in the box and he digs like crazy, like he's digging to the core of the earth. And then he hangs his ass over the side of the box and shit on the floor. And then he covered the hole up. Then he dug in the sand. I'm like, oh, I guess we won't be using this litter. He is stuck on the old-fashioned clay, non-clumping, and it's getting harder to find because almost everything is going to this clumping litter. I was like, I don't understand. Not every cat likes clumping litter. And then I was thinking of investing in maybe a litter robot. I hate to spend that kind of money and him first of all, either be afraid of the goddamn machine or have so much fun with it, he's jumping in and out, in and out, in and out, watching it spin, jump back in, watch it spin. That would be my luck. He'd wear the battery out the first week we had it. I have to take a closer look at these machines. I would like to have one. But they're really pricey. And I would hate to buy something because once you use it, you can't return it. I have to talk. I think a friend of mine has one. I'm going to have to ask her, was there some getting used to it or did your cat jump right in it? I'm not going to invest in that kind of money for a fancy toy. All the stuff that they have nowadays, jeez. And then, of course, while I was there, I picked up another package of cat treats. God forbid he doesn't have his cat treats. One of these days, I'm going to try to set up my GoPro. Maybe I'll put the head unit on. Because in the morning, he will not let me leave the bedroom until he has his cat treats. Mainly because I spoiled him. But the dance that he does, he's Mr. Loving Little Kitty. He's dancing back and forth on the edge of the bed. Oh, cat treats, cat treats, cat treats. And then it gets to a point where I'll play with him and kind of tease him. And then he reaches out and he grabs my pants, mainly like he'll hook onto my belt loop. Like, God damn it, I'm done playing. Give me a fucking treat already. But, it's cute watching him dance back and forth on the edge of the bed. Cat treats, I want my cat treats. Yeah, I spoiled him rotten. Of course, his nightly routine is hilarious. When he decides to come to bed, he will jump up, and if my arm isn't in the right position, he's pushing my arm like, hey, I lay down in this spot. Move your arm. And then he'll lay on his side with all 4 feet. And he'll massage the shit out of me for about 15 minutes. Every night. This has gone on for the longest time. And then, when he's done massaging, he rolls over on his back, sticks all 4 feet in the air, and then he goes to sleep. But he will. And he gets the most intense look on his face when he's doing his kitty massage with all 4 feet. It's hilarious. Although every now and then, he decides to stick his claws out. And then it's like, yo, hey. Yeah, he'll not only massage, but then the toes work the claws, He's like digging for gold in my rib cage. I have never had a cat that's ever done this. Now, every now and then, I've had a cat that'll, every now and then he'll, and that's it. No, this every single night. He has to massage me before he goes to sleep. And he's been doing it since he was a kitten. And he takes and as he gets into it, he gets faster and faster and faster and faster. God, sometimes them feet are going like 60 miles an hour. which I don't mind until he decides, oh, I think I need to stretch my claws. And then he starts digging, and I'm like, "Ree." But I don't scold him. I don't want to piss him off. As irritating as is, I think it's cute. Although I wish he would quit being so goddamn picky with food. Those delectables aren't cheap. And there's not a lot in that little pouch. Of course, he gets his, and then he will only eat Friskies seafood flavor. The one time I was completely out of dry food. And of course, Mark's was out of Friskies blue bag seafood flavor. So I got some other brand of seafood flavor. Figuring, hey, dry food is dry food. So I put it in the dish, and he jumps up, He looked at it, and he looked at it, and he looked at me, and he looked at it, and then he tried to bury it. He wouldn't touch that stuff. I finally ended up giving it to my next door neighbor, and her cat loved it. But, nope. He would not touch it. Only Friskies seafood flavor. Now, if I get the regular Friskies, same thing. Turns its nose up at it. I don't know what it is about this particular flavor. Now, I should be, thankful that he eats it, but he will not touch any other whatsoever. I think it was Meow Mix. Yeah. I got Meow Mix. Of course, I ended up singing the commercial. Yeah, meow, 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 meow. Now, there is a commercial that will drive you fucking insane. And any of you that have a cat, don't lie to me. Because I would guarantee everybody that hears that commercial ends up singing it afterwards. I know my next door neighbor, she's the same way. She goes, I hate when that goddamn commercial comes on because I'm singing it for hours. It's going through my head. Meow, 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 meow. It's a cute, catchy commercial, but Jesus Christ. Nothing more embarrassing to be humming it to yourself and somebody go, are you humming a cat food commercial? Who, me? No, not me. Yeah. Meow, 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 meow. Now I'll be humming. Then while I was in the store, I hate when people come in with their kids and turn the little brats loose. There were 3 wild banshees running through the store, creating havoc, knocking shit down, And do you think Mom would say anything? No. Finally, I says to her, Miss. I wanted to say bitch, but I said miss. Your kids knocked the display over in the other aisle. She said, well, the store employees will pick it up. I said, well, yes, but your kids knocked it down. Don't you think they should pick it up? It's not their job. I said, but they knocked it down. It's not their job. I said, well, you know, it's not the store employee's job to pick up after your kids. I wanted to say fucking brats, but I was trying to avoid a confrontation. She goes, it's not their job. I said, okay. So you know Grumpy. I sought out the manager or the assistant, which I found 3 aisles over. And I said, guess what? And he looked at me thinking like, oh, fuck, we're out of bread. I said, you see those 3 little tyrants running around the store? He said, yeah, they're starting to get on my nerves. I said, well, in the back of the pop aisle, they knocked over a display, and there are bottles of pop all over the floor. And I mentioned to their mother that they knocked a display over, and they should go pick it up. And she told me it's not their job. He said, well, I'll handle it. So I'm thinking, he's going to go back and pick up after these goddamn brats. No. He went to Mommy and said, your kids knocked over a display in the back of the pop aisle. I'd appreciate it if you would escort them back there so they can pick it back up. It's not the store employee's job to pick up after your kids. Well, it was amazing how fast Mommy trundled them 3 little fucking brats back there to pick up what they knocked over. But Grumpy telling her, it's like, screw you, old man. Well, what's right is right. And if you're not going to do when I kind of mention it, then we'll have the store manager mention it to you. And then he followed them 3 little brats around the store until Mommy was done shopping. And it was amazing when they realized the manager was following them, what little angels they turned out to be. But yeah, they knock over a display, and then the bitch says to me, it's not their job to pick it up. I really wanted to ask her, if your kids knock something over at home, do you pick up after them? Or do you make them pick up after themselves? And I would guarantee she would say, well, I make them clean up. What's the difference about being in a store? If they knock something over at home and you make them clean up after themselves, they knock something over in a store, what's the difference? They can't bend their little asses over and pick the stuff up. I hate parents like this. Bring your kids in, turn them loose, let them run through the store like fucking banshees, knock over shit, and then you expect the store to clean up after your brats? You know, back in the day, kids had to remain with their parents. I remember being at, I think it was Woolworths. Woolworths 5 and dime. Yeah, we used to have a Woolworths here. And I wandered away from my mother. And the store manager escorted me back to my mother and said, children are not to be away from their parents in the store. Needless to say, when I got home, whoa, did I hear about it. But see, over the years, things have changed. You're not allowed to, you're not allowed to be that way in a store anymore. The store manager, is a mean-ass ogre if he tells a parent, your kids are being bad. Of course, it's the typical, we might lose a customer. Although they don't give a shit nowadays anyway. I don't know how many times I've said, well, you won't see me in this store again. But I'm sure every employee went, well, thank God. It boils down to, back in the day, customer appreciation, They don't appreciate customers today. They know damn right well if you don't shop here, 5 other people will. Big deal. You ain't spending that much anyway. You not shopping in our store definitely aren't going to cause us to go bankrupt. There's been a whole attitude change regarding customers today. Back in the day, and I was taught when I started my first part-time job when we had a Sears store at 110th and Lorraine. The customer is always right, no matter how wrong they may be. You don't argue with a customer. I'll never forget the one time I slipped. The customer was giving me some crap about something, and I started to argue with the customer. And my supervisor whacked me across the back of the head, which they could get away with back then. And she told me, apologize to him. The customer is never wrong. And I was like, but, no buts. I really wanted to go, I'm sorry, Mr. Asshole. But I had to say, I'm sorry, sir. Yeah. Oh, she whacked me good across the back of the head. But see, they could get away with that back in the day. Because if they called your parents and said, your son was acting up in the store, you got whacked across the back of the head when you got home. But no longer, no, customer, they don't care. They'll argue with you. Perfect example was shit I went through with Sylvia and Square Trade. And it's amazing how many places I see the Square Trade name. They must write warranty for everybody under the sun. I was shocked when I saw make a purchase on PayPal. Would you, it asks you for, $2 more, would you like, a 2-year warranty coverage on your product through Allstate Protection Plan? If you don't know that Square Trade is connected with Allstate, like when I fell for it with my extended warranty on my TV, it doesn't say Square Trade anywhere. It says Allstate Protection Plan. So you're thinking, hey, Allstate. No, you don't find out about Square Trade until it's time to collect that warranty. Yeah, PayPal. What is Elon thinking? Elon owns PayPal. Now, it is one of the safest ways to purchase online. But does he realize what kind of snake oil sales company this is? Although, he don't care. He's getting his cut. But I cannot believe he would be hooked up and would approve of an outfit that is literally out to just screw over a customer when it comes time to collect on a warranty. I was really tempted to email him when I was having a problem, but he didn't care. He already got his money. Either that or Allstate really pulled the wool over his eyes. So, I got a TV, and my grandniece got a TV, which she's extremely happy about. But they still beat me out of the 2.5 years of extended warranty money they owed me, which in a way is my fault because I refused to open the TV, and take a picture of the serial number. But no, when I said the box is still factory sealed, if I was putting it up for sale, I wanted people to see I'm a person of my word. Yeah, look, the box is still factory sealed. I didn't open it. Unfortunately, because I didn't open it, I didn't get that 2.5 years worth of extended warranty coverage, which I'm sure my sister will sooner or later wish that they had, because I don't picture that TV lasting a long time. Now it might. I might have just got, a bum TV, but I could guarantee at least 80% of TVs are made in China in the same factory. You know, it was no different here in America with Kenmore washers, Kenmore, GE, you know, they were all made on the same assembly line. I think Kenmore, GE. I once read there were like 5 different washing machines that were all made on the same assembly line. So we did it here. But we also had quality and pride in workmanship. Not like the crap they're turning out in China. But I would guarantee you could probably look at every TV at Walmart and they're all made in the same factory. They just come out with a different name on them. And RCA was one of them. And I still haven't heard from RCA. I don't think I ever will. They don't care. I would have thought, though, that they would have at least said, hey, we received your letter. We're sorry, you know, you had an unfortunate circumstance with our TV set. And maybe sent me like a $25 off coupon towards a purchase of an RCA product. Or at least acknowledged my letter. But it's been over a month. Haven't heard a word. Don't think I will. So that just goes to show you companies today could give a shit about a customer. I guarantee, let's say 30 years ago, had I written that letter, I'd have probably had a response back within a week. A big apology letter, we're sorry, you know, here's a coupon towards, you know, your next purchase. Big companies are just out for the bottom line. That's it. You're a dollar sign. They don't care. But I made my mind up today. I'm going to write them another letter. And I'm going to just spell it out. I can see you don't give a shit about the buying public. Because had you given a shit, you would have at least sent me a "we're sorry" letter acknowledging that you received my letter. And I know they got it. They don't care. You're just a dollar sign. They do not value customers nowadays. "25 years ago? Oh, yes. Today? Fuck you. That's about it. But I am going to write him again. And I'm going to tell him I'm very, very sad that you couldn't even acknowledge the receipt of my letter. That you don't care about your products. All you care about is the bottom line. And I'm not going to be that polite. I might, when I write it, I might even read it before I send it. Because I am not going to be polite. You don't give a damn about the buying public. And it's sad that this is the society we've turned into. You know, they got the attitude, well, we got your money, so what do you want? Well, I want a product that lasts longer than 2.5 years. That's what I want. I remember that big monstrosity RCA radio that my grandparents had. They bought that thing like probably in the late 40s. And in the 70s, that thing was still going strong. I wish I would have snatched it up. I really do. But, you know, it was a big monstrosity, and I was like, it would be interesting to see how long it lasted. I mean, we know 30 years it was still going strong. I don't know if it would have made it another 30, but it was made with pride and workmanship and by hand, not printed circuit boards with robots. An actual human assembled that thing with solder and a soldering gun and tweezers and who knows what they used. That was like Zenith used to be a big name back in the day. And their commercials touted handcrafted. Oh, you paid good money for a Zenith, but you knew it was going to last. And they stood behind their product. I know we had a Zenith VCR. And it went haywire. And I remember going with my father, taking it to the Zenith Repair Center, was in Parma somewhere. And he says, how long do you think this is going to take to repair? And I remember the guy at the counter saying, well, wait a minute, let me take it in the back and have a technician examine it while you're here. And it didn't, you know, strike me at the time. But then I thought about it was like, wait a minute. We're going to look into this right now. It shouldn't have gone bad, you know. And luckily it was just, I don't know, a resistor or capacitor or something. And they said to my father, if you wait 20 minutes, you can take it back home with you. We'll fix it. Like I say, it didn't mean much at the time. And then I thought about it. I was like, Boy, did they value their and then, they were kind of shocked that it went haywire. It was like, whoa, we build these by hand. We double and triple test things. Yeah, they fixed it while we waited. Today, you just throw it in the garbage. Go buy another one. Because we build non-repairable crap. Yeah, we're a throwaway society. It really saddened me to carry that 58-inch RCA out and put it in the garbage. But we don't fix things. We build it to be thrown away. Literally. If it goes bad, you throw it out. If you buy a radio and it goes bad, you throw it away. If you buy an electric fry pan and it goes bad, you throw it away. You already assume when you make the purchase, you're going to throw it away. Like vacuum cleaners. Back in the day, there were vacuum cleaner repair shops everywhere. Now, if it goes bad, you throw it away. And we wonder why landfills are getting so, clogged with shit. You just automatically have the attitude, whatever you buy, if it breaks, you just throw it away. Because we don't repair anything anymore. Because in a way, it's too goddamn expensive to repair it. So you throw it away. I remember I had a Dirt Devil vacuum cleaner. And the on-off switch went bad. So I tried to buy an on-off switch. And I called Dirt Devil. And the guy literally said to me, "Why are you bothering to fix it?" I said, "Because it's an on-off switch. There ain't nothing else wrong with the vacuum cleaner." "Well, we don't sell them." "You don't sell parts?" "Well, do you need a belt or a filter?" "No. That's all we sell, belts and filters." "You don't sell an on-off switch?" "No." So, I went to the hardware store and I cobbled the switch together. And I got another 3 years out of the vacuum cleaner. Of course, the switch didn't fit, and there was a shitload of electrical tape on the handle, but that's all that was wrong with it. An on-off switch. But the factory didn't sell an on-off switch. If I needed a belt or a filter, hey, a switch, no. Throw it away. Grumpy isn't the throw it away type of person. Of course, I'm probably the only person that would go to that length to cobble together an on-off switch in order to keep it working. But that was the attitude. We don't sell an on-off switch. Throw it away. And that's the society we've turned into. Throw it away. Next doctors will have that attitude. Hey, doc, I'm having a little bit of problem with my heart. We'll just throw you away, sir. We don't fix them anymore. Whoa! Scary thought, but it could turn into that. Oh, we don't fix things like hearts anymore. Yours is quitting? Oh well. Have a nice day. If you wake up in the morning. Oh! God forbid we ever turn into that kind of society. That's a scary thought. Gee, Grumpy really went off on a tangent that time. Yay! Although I could see some people out there going, throw Grumpy away. Who cares? And with that, I think it's time to call it a stream. And let's go with our tablet that has a mind of its own that will immediately go to the intro music. See, I told you. I don't know why it does that. I even cleared it to make sure that it wasn't on the next selection up list, and it goes right to the intro. Well, now we're going to go to the outro. And I'm not throwing this tablet away until it completely dies. Or some 25-degree evening. Well, friends, Grumpy and the bird, bid you a good evening, and we hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening, and we will meet you again tomorrow night. Same station, maybe the same studio, and maybe around the same time. Have a wonderful evening.